It's time for us to take off our blindfolds and to take out the earplugs. The spirit world is all around us, and each and every one of us, we are like radios, and spirit is the music, basically. We tune into spirit based on our own individual frequencies and vibrations. So this is why a lot of people go on about raising your vibration, because the vibration that each of us contain is unique and individual, and it is very important. In this video, I want to talk about 10 problems that may be keeping you from connecting with spirit. So all of us may have some of these problems at some time. So this is a checklist for you to check. If you feel like you may be having issues, you may notice some of these. So number one, if you're a long time viewer, you'll know what that means. Number one, fear and negativity and depression. Yeah, lower vibrational energy, so lower emotions such as negativity, fear, depression. These will keep us from spirit, because spirit is a light and love filled energy and consciousness. So those are incompatible with those lower vibrational frequencies. So if you are feeling fearful, if you are feeling very negative and or depressed, then trying to trying to channel or connect with spirit, you're most likely to connect to a lower vibrational entity or being, and not be tapping into the purest and highest guidance, which will be giving you positive messages. Okay, so that is number one. Number two is discernment. Discernment is very important for each of us when, if we're a channeler of any form of energy, but especially if we're passing on messages which we're channeling directly from spirit on the spirit world. So discernment is being sure of and having conviction in the energy, in messages and guidance which you're pulling from spirit. So discernment is knowing the difference between what your ego is telling you to say, or what where exactly the guidance is coming from. So if it is pure guidance coming from spirit, well, it's always positive messages filled with love, pure, happy, and positive guidance. So guidance which is going to impact you in a good way. So that is guidance which comes from spirit. So if something is negative, if you're getting negative messages coming through, then you're most likely not speaking to spirit or connecting with spirit. So we need to have discernment here. So it is hard when you're first starting out, but like any other skill, it just takes practice, and it is not impossible to put pick apart and to tell the difference once you know the warning signs. So just be mindful of that. So you just need to work on being able to discern which guidance is coming from spirit. So there may be subtle signs, such as if if I'm tuning into spirit, I may have a high pitched ringing in my ears, or I may have energy shooting up and down my spine, or I may have tingling and magnetic hands. So these are all signs that you are tapped into spirit. Okay, so if 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 guidance is coming through, such as messages, visions, or any other form of guidance is coming through, and you're having these other signs coming through at the same time. So if you're getting tingling hands, or you're having kundalini or energy shooting up and down your spine, then these are all signs that you are in contact with spirit and the messages are indeed from a high and pure source. Okay, so number 3 is moving past distractions. So we live in a chaotic world. There's so many distractions. There's mobile phones, there's TVs, there is other people, there is pets, there is so many distractions, not to mention all of the forms of technology. There's so many distractions in this world. So holding our focus may be another problem for us. So holding our focus, a way to push past this is to practice meditation, something like that. It's intention, maybe saying some affirmations. Just these sorts of things just help to put your mind in the right frame of mind and to quieten down the monkey mind. Okay. So there is, when I say the monkey mind, I mean like the ego or mind chatter. We all have this thing. We all have this. So it is a natural thing that each of us have. Even many of the great masters, like Buddhist masters or any enlightened beings, we all have this mind chatter because it's just part of being human, where each of us were brought here onto earth with this ego, which I personally believe is a separate entity to ourselves. So it's crying out for attention and wants to lead you astray from positive messages and just the right thing to do, basically. So the ego is a trickster, and yeah, that is why I do call it the monkey mind, because it wants to trick you into being distracted or to move you from your goals. Okay, and from your focus, obviously. So that is number 3. So number 4 is feeling disconnected. There's maybe many things which may make us feel disconnected. So, like some of the things I may have mentioned earlier, such as like fear, negativity, depression. So it kind of ties in. So it's kind of like a loop there. So some of these issues, they are connected, and if you have one issue, then it may feed into another issue. But basically, the important thing about this issue is feeling disconnected. If you're not connected with spirit, or if you feel like you're disconnected from spirit, then how are you going to pull that guidance through? Because the guidance comes directly from spirit, from source, whatever you want to call it. So if you feel like you're disconnected from that, then you're going to have a problem. So there may be many different reasons why we feel disconnected. There could be a number of reasons, such as like there could be psychic attack. It could be that you've not got into a good routine of shielding and protection. So there may be other entities that are latching onto yourself, or in latching onto your home or property, stuff like that. So these things can make us feel disconnected from spirit. So the important thing is a good routine of clearing, shielding, and protecting, and just remembering that you are divine. You have a divine spark within you. Each of us has a divine sparkle. Each of us was separated from source itself, or rather source itself, the creator separated itself from us, and ever since it has just been splintering away. But the important thing to remember is that although the splinter or the offshoots of flames have leapt away from the original source, it isn't truly disconnected. We're not truly separate. We are part of the divine, and we have that divine spark within each of us, and that is our connection to spirit. We can never be truly disconnected. We only have the illusion, and certain things may make us feel disconnected, like I mentioned. Okay, so that does feed into the next point that I wanted to make. So number 5 is health and body imbalances. So if you're suffering with insomnia or any number of health issues, ailments, diseases, these can create the body health and body imbalances which I'm talking about, which may create problems for us when we're connecting with spirit. So if we're not in our best health, then just like it it can keep us from doing any number of different things. So channeling spirit is no different. So if you're not in your best health, then it may be difficult for you to climb a mountain. It may be difficult for you to run a marathon. And channeling spirit is no different. So these are all challenging things. And if you're not in your best health, then it's best to get back to your best health before you really try to tackle that and to get into that wholeheartedly. Self care is very important for all of us. So, different ways where you can look after yourself and optimize your health is going for a massage, going for some Reiki or some Sekhem, spending time in nature, being around animals, trees, nature. All of these things are ways which heal and repair and reset our natural healing process. Okay. Okay, so number 6 on my list is number 6 is impatience. So a lot of us, I have been guilty of this before. A lot of us are very impatient. So when we start a new thing, we want to be an instant expert at that thing. But that simply isn't possible. Like, great channelers and great mediums are not just made overnight. Sure, each and every one of us has this natural inherent gift within us, and I guess for some people it is possible to unlock that gift and that skill and to be a complete genius with it or expert. It is possible, but to set that expectation for yourself to become an expert channeler, medium, whatever, to become that overnight is unrealistic and is very impatient. So just think about your intentions and think about the hard work that you do have to put into this, because we're all on this path, and the path is not a short path. So this journey that we're on, this is a lifelong path. So we're all building and growing ourselves throughout life, and we're gaining skills and honing these skills so that we can be the best that we can be. So that is why impatience is a problem when it comes to channeling spirit. So we just need to have a bit more patience there. That is the only thing that I can suggest for that issue and that problem. So number 7 is having a feeble relationship with spirit, or with your spirit team, so to speak. So this can also relate to ancestral, being cut, feeling like you're cut off from your ancestors. So basically, if you don't want to have a feeble relationship with your spiritual team, then you do need to put the effort in. Take time to learn who your ancestors are. Take time to channel the different specific energy of each guide, to listen for the guidance which comes through from them. And with that guidance, you'll also receive the names. So when it comes to spirit guides, you will learn certain information depending on your abilities. May depend how you receive this information. So you may receive names, you may receive what they look like, the spirit guide. So all of these are possibilities, but the main thing, no matter what information, and it's good to ask for this information as well. The important thing, ask if you want to know these things, ask your spirit guide, show some interest. Okay. So yeah, that is an important factor to build a relationship with your spirit guides and your spiritual team. And number 8 is expecting for everything to be taken care of for you by spirit without asking. So there is an important thing called free will. So if you're into spirituality and philosophy, you'll probably have come across that term a lot. Free will. So it's all to do with like the apple of knowledge on the tree in the Garden of Eden, so to speak, and you having the free will to take a bite of that apple, even though you've been told not to eat the apple. So free will is an important thing. We each of us have our own free will. So there's many different paths and choices that we can make in life, and the free will that we have is if which path we're going to choose next. So if you're wanting help with your path, with your spiritual gifts, if you're wanting, or any area of your life, if you wanting help with healing, if you want in help with a new career, then ask your spiritual team to help you. If you don't ask, you don't get. It's as simple as that. And with the whole rule of the free will, our spiritual team is only able to butt in to our lives so far without our permission. So if you want the best help from your spiritual guides, your spirit team, then ask them for help with these things, and they will be able to do more for you to help. And number 9, so the ninth problem is incorrectly identifying your spiritual abilities. So you you may be you may know other people who channel spirits or spirit guides. You may know other people who do this. So the important thing to remember is that we each have individual gifts. So if someone else channels spirit in such and such a manner, if they see clear visions, or if they hear spirit voices, then don't expect that you're gonna experience spirit in that exact same way, because each of us are individual and we have our individual gifts. So there is the clair abilities. So these are like clairaudience, clairsentience, clairvoyant, etc., etc., clairgustient, claircognizant. So these are all different abilities. So I will talk about them in further videos, but basically clairvoyance is the ability to see clearly, so having visions. Clairaudience is the vision to hear clearly, so hearing spirit. Claircognizance is clear knowing, so it's the ability of just knowing these things, having the guidance just coming in, popping into your head, so that they're some of the basic abilities. But if you type in clairvoyance, then a lot of these other abilities will pop up. So basically, you just need to take some time to explore all of these different abilities. If you kind of dip your toe into each ability, spend a bit of time trying to pick up some visions. A good way to do that would be by meditating to see if any guidance comes through from the spirit guides. So yeah, meditating is a good way actually, because whilst you're meditating, you'll you'll be able to notice what kind of guidance comes through, because whilst you're meditating, any number of different guidance can come through. You may hear sounds, you may see your spirit guide or totem animals, something along those lines. Or if that's not what you have, then you may be clairsentient and you may feel a strong presence and strong love and warmth and safe feeling. So that is another one of the abilities. So just be aware that you may experience spirit and you may channel in a different way to other people. So don't expect that how I channel my guides is how you're going to channel yours. That's just like me, my mentor and my close friend who I've known for many years, who taught me about the psychic abilities and some witchcraft as well. She sees spirit in a whole completely different way. She has like, we each have a natural ability, but when there's people who have like such a rare ability where they like, it's like they physically see that spirit being in the room, so they can physically see, because a lot of us, if we're clairvoyant or if we're tapping into the clairvoyant ability, we would see an image in our mind's eye. Although there are some people who have such strong clairvoyance ability where they can, it's like that the spirit guide is physically in the room with them and they see it so clearly. So it's just important to just know that our spiritual gifts are each going to be tailored to our individual personality. So it's kind of like similar to how we all learn in different ways. Some people learn by watching, some people learn by reading, some people learn by listening. So it's a similar way. That's how I always think of it. If you're channeling, expect to expect that it won't be so simple as just copying someone else's style. You need to learn your own way and to learn your main abilities. So for myself, my main clair abilities is clairaudient. So at times I do hear spirit sounds. So it may be ringing, or I may hear a few words being spoken. So there is, I'd say my second clair ability would be clairsentience. Like I often, I've got, with being a healer as well, and with an attunement to Reiki energy and Sekhem energy, I feel energy quite strongly. So clairsentience is the ability to strongly feel energy, and you may feel that energy shooting up your spine, like I mentioned. So that is a sign of clairsentience as well. Or you may have magnetic hands, stuff like that, or warm or hot and cold flushes, or any number of different experiences. I know my sister, she has experienced like sort of like a tapping or like a friendly feeling like someone's putting their hand on her shoulder or on her knee in a warm and friendly way. So there is just many different ways of experiencing spirit. So just be aware of that. And number 10 is the lack of gratitude. So our spiritual team, they do so much for us. They're gunning for us so much. They want a number of blessings to come our way. That they want to help us in any way, shape, or form. They just wait for us to ask. And each different guide has different abilities and skills which they can share with us and teach us, and may be better equipped to help us with our life lessons. But basically, the important thing to remember is to give thanks to our spiritual team, to the spirit guides, our ancestors, or to all of them, because the more thanks that you give, it is just a good practice to keep with. Especially gratitude is like a magnetic energy in itself. So if you're being grateful, you're going to bring good things. And basically, just because the spirit guide is putting in so much effort, the guardian angels love you so much, and they're protecting you 24/7. They do not have a rest at all. The spirit guide, or rather the guardian angel, sorry, I'm talking about now, they are with you 24/7, so they never rest. So just give thanks to your guardian angels and to the spirit guides, because they do so much hard work for you. They keep you safe, and they help you to learn what you need to learn. That they bring so many blessings into your life. So just like any kind of gift that you would receive, you're receiving these gifts from spirit, so say thank you for them just in the same manner. So these are my top 10 problems that may be keeping you from connecting with spirit. So if you have experienced any of these issues, please do let me know. If you have any questions, please also let me know. And if you've made it this far, then please do check out the next video,